Yeah.
You know, but how do you just sit there and say, well, you know what, my life is good, I'm just going to keep quiet? I can't do it.
Because you'd have to be soulless to do it.
I can't do it.
And this is where the whole conversation gets spiritual, because when I say the people in charge are demonic, they're
100%
demonic. They worship Satan, whether they admit it or recognize it or not, they do.
It's absolutely demonic.
And people say, oh, you're crazy. What do you mean? About a bunch of Satan worshipers. The scenario you just described could only be accepted by a Satan worshiper. Someone who has no concern for anything but themselves. And if you look at the satanic church, a lot of it is down to just absolute selfishness. The satanic church will teach you all that matters is you and how you feel.
Exactly.
And no, you don't have to care about anyone else. If it makes you happy, that's fine, which is, we can tie back to our earlier conversation about hedonism and people being obsessed and self-obsessed. This is why they push certain things they push. This is the reason why they try and convince the whole population they're depressed. Depression is a low energy state. You're not going to go to revolution if you're depressed. If you're depressed, you're obsessed only with how you feel. You're self-obsessed now. You're a depressed person. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to do anything. You don't care about the world.
Right.
You only care about you. You're worshiping Satan if you're going to sit there depressed. I don't care if I'm depressed. I have things to do, and I am not going to allow people I care about to be at detriment. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm a full-grown man. I have things to do. So they're trying to push all of this, and it is demonic and it's satanic. And once you go down this rabbit hole, it's amazing. You can start with fiat currency, or you can start with the false democracy. You can start with all these things. It has to end up at God, because there has to be an equal and opposite force. There's so much evil in the world. There has to be an equal and opposite force, which is God. And the only thing that can actually fix a society and maintain a society is the belief in something bigger and more powerful than a government or money is God. And this is why you look at the countries who have thrown God away, how quickly they're declining, as opposed to the countries who still have God and still believe in God. And this is why it's such an important, it's a spiritual battle. It truly is spirit. It's good against evil. It's that simple.
100%.
It's good people against evil
100%.
people. And another thing that's always given me comfort is you understand that truthfully, all you own is your soul anyway. I mean, I can tell you from experience, and you probably know better than me. You don't own that car, you don't own that house, you don't own the money in that bank. Piss off the government and you will see how quickly you don't own a thing.
Right.
A judge who you've never heard of will stamp a piece of paper you've never read, and you are on your ass. That's it. You don't own anything besides how you feel when you look in the mirror. That's all you own. The rest of it is garbage. You own your body, perhaps, if you don't let them inject you with anything. And you own your soul if you get to stand up for what you believe in and what you say. I get to look in the mirror and go, yeah, maybe I got myself in trouble, but I meant what I said. I meant every word I have ever said, even if now I retrospectively disagree with some of the things I've said because I've grown as a person. At the time I meant it, and I meant what I said, and I said it. It is what it is. You could take my cars, you could take my house, you could take all my money. Doesn't matter. Because that's what you truly own. They have people so obsessed with this idea of owning this garbage they don't own anyway. And that's the thing, because that's how they force you to comply, right? If you tell too much truth on Twitter, you lose your job. You lose your job, you lose your mortgage. Can't pay the house. You lose everything. Right? So they have people self-obsessed with all of these unimportant things that they don't even really own.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is where spirituality is so important. I find it heartbreaking that America, which is supposed to be the largest and most powerful Christian country, Christian, right? You will get more respect for George Floyd than Jesus Christ. I find it heartbreaking that you can mock Jesus in the open.
Yeah.
I find it, yeah, free speech, blah, blah, blah. There's free speech, but no, I don't think you should be walking around insulting the God of the country you live in. You can't do that in an Islamic country. You can't do that in nearly any religion's country. Only in these first world Christian nations are they going to allow their prophets to be mocked and say, well, no, oops. They'll put up satanic statues in churches.
Yeah,
they did
that's
this.
fine.
And the guy, a Christian, destroyed the statue. He got charged.
Yeah.
He got charged.
Andrew, it's happening every day in America.